All right, I've been back at it for another day already. I've got this door all put back together. Thought it wasn't going to fight me, but it did. There were a few things that I didn't see, as is always, but thank goodness they showed themselves to me before I put the whole thing together. Continuing on, putting it back together. Not a lot to talk about. This is what I got to do now. I just test fit these. I test fit these rear seats when I built the headliner, and for some reason or other, I don't know what it is. There's some difference between the Challenger and where these back seats are relative to the rear wheels than to my car, which is a Charger. I don't know what it is, but mine, the headrest's cleared just fine. This one here, the headrests rubbed the headliner, so I'm going to have to cut these headrests off. And of course, these seats are going to get reupholstered anyway. Get rid of this houndstooth, some white leather on here. But the way I'm going to do that is basically this is a turkey knife for slicing turkey. You know, a reciprocating blade like that, and it works pretty good for carving foam. It's kind of a non-violent way to get, shape up the foam. So I'm just going to cut the headrest foam away, and I'll tuck the rest of the stuff down, the headrest fabric, and put the seat back together. But and then when it gets reupholstered, all that'll be addressed with a new seat cover. Anyway, that's what I'm up to. Just tootling along here. All right, so that's what it looks like cut down. This was what was underneath the foam, a little prop, I guess, to put the foam rest against like that. At any rate, it's all cut down even now, and I'll just tuck this material down in this pocket here for now and put it all back together. Okay, so the back seat's in. You can see where I tucked those headrests in, and you can see it would pretty much completely block the back window. It's a small enough back window, it's like a mouse lot with this on this angle. But anyway, that's what that's looking like right there. And keep moving on. Okay, so the interior is complete now. Got that in. I've also have the car plugged in. You see, I've got these overhead lights coming, which was a concern of mine because they're be very difficult to change out. But anyway, yesterday it was a total panic day after I hooked this car back up, and several things were amiss. Started right up, which wasn't an issue, which was nice. That was one of my biggest issues. But I had just yesterday put this console in, and it had been sitting for a year and a half all apart. And I have plenty of reference pictures and so forth to put it back together. So pretty confident that I could do it all without any hitch, but got everything together, and I couldn't shift the car out of park. Well, I was at a complete loss. I have no idea what the situation was, so going on the internet trying to find answers. Finally ended up going to the Dodge dealer. He basically told me to power the car down and maybe let it reset again, and maybe the computer would read the shift module, Came back, did all that, none of that worked. Couldn't get it out of park. So I'd remembered when I put this in, put the console in the morning, that there was a couple of wires hanging from underneath the dash that didn't seem to have any place to plug in the console itself, and I was wondering what they could possibly be, because they wouldn't even reach anything in the console. So after studying for a little while, and I just left them alone, because there's lots of phantom plugs in this car that basically just dead end for accessories the car doesn't have. So I figured that's what these must be, since I plugged everything in when I put the dashboard in, so must not be anything there. At any rate, I decided to rip the console back out and take a real hard look at those wires. All my reference photos, none of them showed up in the reference. So I felt around underneath the dash as hard as I could get, and sure enough, there were two little openings. Plugged them in, and they were for that center screen there, because that wasn't illuminating either. So that came to life, but I put the whole console back together and still couldn't get it to shift out of park. But then I noticed this, even though I tightened down the set screw, that the shifter knob was now rotating. So it made me pop this section back up and out, pull the shifter knob off, and look at the set screw situation, and realize that I hadn't pushed this handle all the way down till it snapped into place, where that set screw goes into a piece of Delrin that goes down through it. So it was not actually an electrical problem, it was a mechanical problem. And not dealing with these shifters every day, there was nothing on the internet about it. So plenty of other stuff though, but one of them is the backup camera. Didn't function, or it isn't functioning. Haven't tested it out yet today, but apparently if you disconnect the battery, it knocks out your backup camera, sometimes for an hour, sometimes for a couple of days. It has to do with the software in there, Unit Connect or something like that, I think the name of it is. But I found 50% of the posters online and on the various forums were saying, just leave it alone. It'll connect itself up in a little while, and then it'll start to function again, based on the fact that the apps in the program have to reset, blah, blah, blah. Make it more complicated if you can. Anyway, what I'm doing now is I've got, this is the real glass that's in the back here. I'm getting ready to basically put some masking tape around here to show me where I have to countermask on the back side to do the black out region around the perimeter of this glass. I'll have to do the same thing with the windshield. But that's what I'm up to now, getting this going. And you can see here that this glass has quite a bit of shape in it. It's got like a bubble. So that's what I was talking about when I was referring to the shape that's in the glass. At any rate, that's what I'm up to now. I'll keep on digging. I already fired it up. I'll fire it up again at the end of this video sometime tomorrow. Hopefully everything will be peachy keen. It works pretty good. Oh, I guessed wrong on this on these signal lights here. They're not signal lights at all. They're just running lights, much to my dismay. But rather than tap into the wiring system, which I'm loath to do because of all the other issues that seems to cause, I've decided to try something that seemed to work pretty good, and maybe I'll put a little clip of video after this. That basically I put some reflective vinyl on the back side of this door, which the headlights are right behind the door, and the blinker that's in the housing is right behind this door here. And with the door closed, that reflection, I put another piece of counter reflector down the bottom here in this grill here, and what that's doing is it's transferring the light like a periscope down so that this side of the grill actually lights up when the blinker's on. I'm going to try. I've got some highly reflective Mylar that I've got coming. Maybe it'll be more reflective than the stuff I've got in there to, get it as bright as possible. But that'll mean I have to get this up in the air, take the pan in the front down, and renegotiate all of what's going on up in there. So anyway, it's all part of tuning it in and getting ready to give it a test drive. But that's where I'm at right now. Well, that's what it's looking like with the windshield dropped in there with the spacers and everything. I still got to relieve this corner, give it a little more radius there. Same on the other side. But other than that, it all fits the way it's supposed to. Nothing's uneven. It's sitting on that bed 100%, which is what you want. So anyway, just thought I'd show you what it's looking like. I still have to tape it out and do the backside painting and all that good stuff, but I wanted to make sure it fit before I went that far. You never can tell if I had to do any more metal work, if it just was a little crooked or something happened between when I put this in and when I dropped it on the car, all that other nonsense, because I did this whole windshield with the body unsupported off this chassis, so anything could have happened. I could have got a twist in it. You never know. So everything's laying in there good right now, so I'm very hopeful that it's all going to work out really nice. All right, so just getting done back spray in the perimeter of the windshield and the back glass here. It says for it to totally cure. To touch, it says 2 hours, but it could take up to a couple of days for this to completely cure. The test is if you can sink your thumbnail in it, it's not ready. But anyway, this is the stuff I'm using. I had this in an earlier video for anybody who hadn't seen this stuff. This is the only stuff I could find. It's made by Uline, which is it's a supplier that I used when I was a kid for silkscreen inks, and they actually had a one-part epoxy back in the day. You could silkscreen on the glass, and you couldn't cut that stuff off with a razor blade. It would etch its way into the glass. Couldn't find that stuff anywhere or any substitute for that, so it's kind of weird. This is made by the same people. You have to read the labels and everything. Thing to know about it, it's extremely expensive, and you can only get it in gallons. It's about $360 for that, so unless you're doing a lot of glass work. On my car, I didn't have any options like that. I ended up just using this adhesion promoter. I don't even know where I got it from. It's just about 10 years old there, and then I just used regular black spray paint, and seemed to hold up fine. Windshield hasn't blown out yet, or the back glass. Of course, I've got a trim around that, but it's still stuck pretty good. If it was going to let go, it would have leaked a long time ago, because I've been caught in quite a few downpours with that car and haven't had any leak issues. So at any rate, this has got to sit for at least a couple days to fully cure and etch its way into the glass. So on to the next thing, as they say. I'm just put the temporary glass back in the back of the car, and I got to fiddle around with some other stuff. Got the cowl to work on. I have to put the windshield washer nozzles into the cowl, which I can't hook up because you have to be able to push the hoses onto a barb, and once that's done, the only way to get them back off is to cut them, and the cowl has to come back off for the car to get painted and the windshield to be permanently installed. So I'll probably just tuck them in there. The other thing is I got to make up some windshield wipers. They don't make windshield wipers short enough for this car, so like on my car, I've had to cut them down quite a bit in order to get them to work with just a small sweep of that windshield there. So at any rate, I got that to do. I'll just keep moving along here. All right, so this is what it's looking like now. I just untaped the back side to make sure that I didn't have any. While it's still a little bit tacky, before it completely sets up, I wanted to make sure there was no issues that I might be able to. Right now you can resolve it. It's still soft enough that you have to cut anything like with a razor blade. If I had any undercuts with the paint or anything, it's about an hour in, and after it's tacked up pretty good, still have a little flexibility to try and clean it up. But I didn't have anything like that to deal with, but didn't want to leave it till the stuff is completely cured, and then if it's like that other stuff that I've used in the past, it wasn't going to come off if I had to get it off. If I had a little raggedy edge or something like that, that would be a big issue. Anyway, I'm over here making some brackets to hold this temporary windshield in. I got this just taped up on the outside so that I don't dig into the glass when I put these in. But basically what I've had to resort to here is these clips they'll clip underneath the edge here, similar to the other ones, but it's got a stud on it, and that stud will allow me to put a clip over the top of both the glass and the A-pillar itself, and then I'll cut this off. I'll put a nylock on there because I couldn't screw into it in this direction because it's only about less than a quarter of an inch right here between the glass edge and the A-pillar. So I had to get this bolt that I've got here completely over to the edge here. If I try to put a nut in there, it would require more space, and it'd be difficult to go down in there and screw into that. So with this, I'll have the stud sticking up on 2 locations here, and then 3 across the top to hold the windshield in, and then I'll also tape it up like I did the back. All right, so here's the idea. I've got foam on the back side of this windshield. It's interesting to see that this windshield, which was an original type windshield, is much thicker, and it's also narrower slightly than the new windshield, which sometimes there's issues installing the newer windshields because of the rubber that it's got to fit into on a standard Charger window opening. At any rate, be that neither here nor there, that's where I'm going to stop this week. Like I said, I still got a lot of work to do here with the Cal area over here. I have to reinvent my signal lights up there. But just so you don't go away empty-handed this week, let's get in here and see what happens here. So when everything's involved with the latches, you can see that it indicates the door's open, door's closed. And then foot on the brake. We don't want to put too much of that on there. The YouTube algorithms will go nuts if it hears music. Well, that sounds pretty musical, don't you think? Anyway, one of the issues I'm having right now is the I've got when I put it in a reverse, I should have a backup camera, but I've got this little blue screen going. I have no idea what to do about that. I've tried everything there is to try on the internet, and so far nothing's worked. The only problem with that is it's a little difficult to dismount the camera itself back there, because you got to take off the bumper and the tail light. So hopefully it's just a system error of some sort that I can get straightened out by getting the software updated. At any rate, I don't know if you can hear me over this, but sounds pretty sweet. Running pretty good, but we're about ready to take it out and see what else is of any kind of issue. That'll happen next week, hopefully sometime. But I've got a lot of little knickknacks to deal with, and we'll see how all that goes. And that's going to do it for this week. I'd like to thank everybody for watching so far, and I will see you on the next one.